All right, so this time we're going to be talking about multiplying fractions by whole numbers. So multiplying fractions by whole numbers is actually really straightforward. It's one of the easier things to do, and I think it's way easier than adding fractions. And I think you're going to think so too when you actually see what it entails. So we're going to look at the fraction 3/4. Okay, so to multiply a fraction by a whole number, let's pull out a whole number. So 3/4 times, we're going to do a really easy one, 3/4 by 3. All right, so remember that any whole number, we can imagine that whole number is the same thing as 3/1. Okay, so if you think about that, that's the same thing as 3 wholes. So 1, 2, 3 wholes. Okay, so that's 3 whole things. So that's 3 wholes. All right, so we can write that fraction as 3/1. So to multiply it, all we've got to do is switch it up and do 3/4 times 3/1. And you don't have to do any going across. You don't have to do any funny, weird things. You just have to go 3 times 3 equals 9. 4 times 1 equals 4. You're done. Well, not completely, because what happened when I did that? What do I have now? Now I've got an improper fraction, so let's fix it. 9/4, how many times can 4 go into 9? 2 times, 2 whole times. So 2 times 4, that gives me 8. And what's my leftover after that? So if that gives me 8, I have 1/4. So double check that again. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1, that's 9. That's the same fraction. Always remember, you can never leave your answer in an improper fraction. Please always turn it into that mixed number instead. So 3 times 3 is the same thing as 3/4 times 3/1. All right, so did we really need to do it this way? Let's take a look at that. So here's another way we can think of that. 3/4 times 3. We can also rewrite it. We can just move it up here, and we can say 3 times 3/4. That is exactly 100% the same as writing it like this. 3/4 times 3/1. Why? Why is that the same thing? Well, if you look at it, 3 times 3 equals 9, and 4 times 1 equals 4. So is that going to get me the same thing? 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 1 is 4. That's going to be the same thing. So that's going to give me the same answer. I'm going to get that 9/4 if I do it this way, or if I do it this way. That's fine. So if you want to actually think about it really fast, you can even think in your head, oh, hey, 3 times 3, that's 9, and 4 just goes on the bottom here. That might be a little quick for you, but that's one way that you can do it. And then remember that you have to, again, turn that into your mixed number instead of your improper fraction, which we found was 2 1/4. All right, let's do another one. All right, 1/5 times 2. We'll keep it nice and easy for this. All right, so remember that 2 is the same thing as 2/1. So the first thing, we're going to rewrite it, 1/5 times 2/1. Well, now this looks a little weird because I've got a 1 up here and a 1 down here. So, okay, well, let's multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 1 is 5. Do I have to do anything else, or am I done? That's my answer. I don't have to do anything. I don't have an improper fraction this time. But remember that this can also be written, I'll rewrite the whole starting fraction again. I can also rewrite it again like this. 1 times 2 over 5 gets me to the same answer, 2 over 5. All right, one last round. Okay, so we'll switch it and do it backwards this time. 4 is going to be my big number times 4/5. All right, can I make it happen the same way? Sure, why not? So remember, I've got 4 over 1 times 4/5. 4 times 4, 16. 1 times 5, well, 5, okay? And then when I'm turning that into turning that improper fraction into a mixed number, I need to say, well, how many times can I put 5 into 16? What's the closest I'm going to get? That's going to be 15. So 5 times what gets me to 15? I'm going to come down here. 3. 5 times 3. So what's my leftover? 1/5. So 5 times 3 plus 1, 16 over 5. All right, so then one more time to rewrite it the other way. 4 times 4/5 is the same thing as 4 times 4 over 5 equals 16 over 5. And look, I even have a little more space than I did up there. So now it's much easier to fit in that 3 1/5. All right, hope that helps.